That was good. Alright. Bill Bryson's One Summer of 1927. Bill Bryson, I've been talking about his books lately. I mean, I talked about The Body, Short History of Nearly Everything, and what other book is there? Notes from a Small Island. I'll probably buy The Road to Little Tripoli next. There's more Notes to a Small Island while I'm on this travel, because this guy likes to write about travel a lot, so why not read this guy? He has British humor. Also, I have to have American and British humor. I have to switch between them, so I was like, yeah, I didn't really get some of his humor parts, but when I reread it, those lines, I then saw the American or American British line. Then, I mean, dialogue had to be American. Bill Bryson's narrative was British, so I actually had to switch around it a little bit. That's how you kind of have to read Bill Bryson's One Summer 1927 book. I mean, in one of his interviews where he talked about One Summer, I mean, he was talking about a short history of nearly everything. I mean, this happened, he was on, he just came from a flight, and he told his American friend, I just came from a long flight, and his American, guy was, said something on these lines, did you know anyone, was there anyone to help you? And then, Bill Bryson said, no, they were all strangers. And then everyone laughed in the audience. I kind of laughed too, because I sort of got it. And then Bill Bryson then said next, and he didn't get it. And then, everyone literally laughed too, and I kind of laughed. And then I had to laugh at that part too, because how would he not be able to get it? American and British humor are all pretty different, to be honest. I mean, Bryson was born in America, but then he moved to Britain, which became his home, and he actually loved it so much that he decided to stay there. I mean, he probably revoked his U.S. citizenship. Hang on, let me Google that up. Did Bill Bryson, no, I wrote Bryson revoke his U.S. citizenship? Looks like he didn't revoke any of the citizenship. Looks like he has dual citizenship. Yeah, now enjoys dual citizenship. Okay, fine by me. Alright, and back to the book. Bill Bryson's One Summer of 1927. This talks about all the summer that has happened in America of 1927, because I did my own little research in the book, and actually I pretty much saw what Bill Bryson saw too. It was a great summer for America. I mean, I compared it to the 1928 summer, 1926 summer, and it was kind of great too. It was the great when the stock market was the best height. Al Capone was on this reign of terror. Some anarchists were charged of bombing something. Also, most people thought they didn't bomb that place, and other people thought, yeah, I don't care what happens, I don't care what these anarchists, and stuff. And then later on, another one is, Babe Ruth hits the 60 home runs in one season. He was also the one to do, 30, 40, 50, and 60, and no one actually expected him not to do 70 and 80. Till number flew across the Atlantic, and some delirious guy from the school board bombed a school that killed 44 people, 10 adults, and the rest were children. At least somewhere to that number. I don't really know what else to say. Oh yeah, one more. Mississippi River flooded as never as before, and then also the guy who fixed that problem too came here too. And there was also a sensational murder trial, and an unknown aviator named Charles Lindbergh who became the most famous man on Earth. And then he hated it. I'll explain later. A president who just worked 4 hours a day and slept most of the other time, and literally had everything. And then the crash on the next summer, and then the next summer, and the next summer, and then took years to recover. Till now. Yay, I mean, nowadays we have Dream, Mr. Beast, Elon Musk, and the President of the United States actually does work longer than 4 hours a day. Although, you still have terrible presidents today in some countries. I'm not criticizing any of them, actually. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. Alright. Why would have Bill Bryson wrote this book anyway? So, turns out I watched this interview while researching his other, why he wrote the short history of nearly everything, and I landed up on this book. at a short history, and the short history of nearly every single book interview, he also talked about one summer in 1927. He said that he was researching actually not all of 1927, just Babe Ruth and at the same time Charles Lindbergh. He found out that they had the milestone in like the same era, the summer of 1927. Babe Ruth 60 home runs, and Charles Lindbergh is crossing the Atlantic, and he had to do that, and his achievement went all summer, which is what a coincidence. And then he wanted to make a book about it, which would probably not have been this sick. However, he worried that these European reader, his now home of Britain and or France and or Germany and or Netherlands and or the whatever country in Europe, Africa, Asia would actually read his book, because baseball wasn't their type. To be honest, it would have been un-European. To be honest, I mean, I've read a book called The 39 Clues, and the British people said baseball was a very, very uncivilized sport. Also, I do not really see anything that's uncivilized in that part. I actually do see some civilized things too, but we'll talk about it in another episode too. One more thing about this is that when he started researching these like little links and how he would link them together, because everyone knows about Charles Lindbergh except for the part that he was sort of a Nazi, and however, not everyone in the world knew about Babe Ruth. To be honest, I didn't even know who Babe Ruth was and who he was until I was 10. Or was it 9? Or was it 6? 9 years old. And he found out that it was also the time when TV was invented, when the radio was at its best, when the stock market was the best, because of some people who did some short-term decisions that actually made the crash of the stock market, which wouldn't happen for another few years. And the guy who actually, the American guy who helped into making the Threads accidents, like making the Threads of just like crashing the stock market, didn't actually live to see it too. Which is lucky for him, I guess, because he would probably have been criticized for all that. And it was also the time when Al Capone was at his best. I already explained all this too. He found out all of that, and then he decided to write a whole book about it, because this was the best summer that America would probably have. And it's probably the only summer that America was at its best for now. Maybe there's going to be another best summer for America, or a better summer for America in the future, but there hasn't ever been a better summer for America until now. There's been none. So he wrote this book. Why would you even read this book anyway? Number one, you would probably read this book because you're interested in America, because Technoblade says USA, 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 and all those other countries, but mainly USA, and like, what's so great about USA? Sure, yeah. And they look at USA and want to read about USA, and also it's just Bill Bryson with his good humor and stuff. You just want to read another one of his books because of his great humor. If you understand his British humor, that is. Also, he does have a hint of American humor inside of it. And you read this book. And other than that, another one reason I would have found to actually read this book is what's so interesting about 1927. Once you read the cover, once you find out about it, and you read the cover, 1927, America, 1927. What's so awesome about 1927? I mean, for some dumb people who don't even care about books, like 1927, very bad summer. That's all I know. Bye bye. It was also a very good summer, so you just want to know stuff. That's what books are here for, to let you know stuff. And this book did a great job in teaching us about America in 1927, also giving us a great humor. I laughed a lot, and my mom complained about me laughing too loud, because I was in public at the time, and people actually did stare at me, and I didn't notice. Nowadays, I notice when people stare at me. There was a guy who stared at me on the train station today, just because I just sniggered during listening to an audiobook and saying, and this expression, he was under sunglasses, and I think his expression was like, there's nothing to laugh about. Everything's dumb. There's nothing to laugh about. Just go to sleep, please. You weird, I don't know. Because I kind of weird actually compared to the other passengers. Let's not mention that again. This is the only summer that's probably been forgotten to America. Not many Americans even know what happened during the summer of 1927. And people don't really like dates anyway. I can't really memorize many dates except probably 1947 and 1945 and 1939 and 1917. Yeah, except those dates, I probably don't remember any of the other dates in history. Other than 0 BC. So, this is a great book to actually have in your collection. Bryson did a great job in writing this book because he has this saying where he puts humor inside a book and then afterwards puts it into the reader. Like, you paste it into the book and then when the reader reads it, it's pasted into the mind. Like, Command C into the book, and when you start reading it, it becomes like a copy Command C and then a command yeah. And whatever command you do for pasting into your brain. And I still can't forget these facts, even though I just finished reading a few hours ago. And I usually don't remember facts that long. Babe Ruth, 60 home runs. Broadway at his height until talking pictures came here to the era. Al Capone at his best, but also this was the only time, and this is the time when he started declining. Bill Bryson at his best. Charles Lindbergh at his best. I'll talk about Bill Bryson. I'm not talking about the summer of 1937. I'm talking about the book. The Flood of Mississippi at its worst. The guy who fixed it at his best. And the president at his worst, which is why he's in the book too. And the president died soon after of a heart attack trying to shave. Well, trying to shave his beard or mustache or something. And that's all I have for you, gentlemen. Or ladies, or whoever watches my videos. Mostly kids and a guy named Teacher Ash. And I hope to see you guys in another episode of Hunt and Shun. Ooh, boxing! And women who are on a rooftop, dangerously close to a rooftop. So, until next time, bye! Read this book if you wanna.